Hello, and welcome back to the 2025 Deadlies Showcase. We are taking a look today at
Sometimes, delvers make
something with voice
things
acting.
unnecessarily hard on themselves. Other times, they just want to show off to their peers.
Right, so I did remember to include the voice actors from this in the Deadlies voting, so it isn't just the DROD RPG 2 hold, which is where most of the voice acting is, but this hold also had voice acting, so something to consider when voting on that section. Anyway, Secret Mischievous Sanctum from Strategist's Misunderstood Subselection by Pavel, or Lova P, which is, Pavel backwards. Alright, and this, from what I understand, is related to Treacle Stew, so we're going to have some high difficulty gel puzzles here, is what I'm imagining.
Formation. It's creepy.
After watching Jocko do his architect commentary, I realized I saw the few rooms differently. Here they are. Yeah, played Treacle Stew first. Voice acting, yep. Testing, very good. And, of course, Chaco, who did the original.
I know none of the mentioned people. Must be foreigners.
Welcome. I will guide you through this place. Here, you will find more challenging versions of several gel experiments you have seen in the previous facility. I am glad you are ready to prove your knowledge of gel beyond what you have already done. Come tap my shoulder if you want a hint. I will give progressively bigger hints with each tap.
Uh-huh. Thanks.
So,
No hints for this room.
I was wondering about that. Alright, so it looks like I cannot get through. So yeah, they're doing this again. When you have gel as a wall, the problem with using tar stuff as walls is that you can cut into it. So you need all these obstacles or something else to prevent that. And with gel, it's relatively easy to proof it. And it doesn't look like there are any gaps here. So I'm going to assume I'm just moving this way. And okay, so it just kind of opens up, but so is this like the final level then? I don't normally do this when I'm doing these, but I'm actually just going to take a tour before I actually try to solve anything.
This is once south, once east of level 12 and a half. The disarm token was not necessary here. Moreover, I installed a Briar timer, but it is a lenient one. In fact, the room can be completed in under 50 moves.
Okay, so I guess maybe they're not all going to be. So now that he's spoken, I've changed my mind, and I think I will just do this. Right, so what he's saying is we don't need the disarm token. I'm assuming, if I remember right, the disarm token was used to reorient yourself relative to the mimics. And what's actually going on here? So we have tar, gel, tar stuff, on top of a pressure plate. We will, without the ability to pause because we're on hot tiles, we will release the gel baby. We will be invisible, so nothing else in the room will move once we've done this. And then, we get here, the gel baby hits this, which blows this up, and also puts a bunch of arrows here which prevent us from using these mimics with these extra few moves. And when this happens, we die unless this plate is clear. The only way the plate will be clear is if there are swords over top of all 8 positions here to prevent the gel from spawning when it breaks up. So, yeah. I feel like I said that in way more words than I needed to, but I do remember this room. The whole point of it was to put swords over everything. Disabled force arrows are things that you can put doubles on, so we do actually get the decoys. And it looks like, let's just check the timer here. It started already. Okay, so we have 92 turns to get into here. Which is, like I say, it's a lenient timer. Begs the question, why even install it? But, okay. I mean, I guess having a lenient timer like this is telling you that if you're spending a whole lot of time fiddling around with the mimics, you're not doing it right, that there's an easier way to do it. So I suppose the timer could have value in that sense, but I still kind of personally just prefer there to be no timer, because it feels like an unnecessary complication where if you're just messing around and then you figure out the formation, but then you have to start the room over again because it took you a while to get to the conclusion instead of just completing it from like turn 200 or however it took you. I don't know. Anyway. So the difference here then, we don't get to rotate our sword. So we can rotate our sword for the decoys, but all of the mimics will be facing the same direction. Okay. If all of the mimics are facing the same direction, how can we possibly have 5 of the things taken? It's gonna have to be...
This is 1 south.
Okay. It's gonna have to be something like that. That's the only way we can possibly have 5 swords all facing the same direction, covering 5 tiles here. So I just need to have it so that from here to here is the same distance as from here to here, I guess. Would this be better? Would this be better if I did it this way?
1 south.
I also don't need the vision token. I'm just trying to get a sense of how I want to do this, because if I'm facing this way, I can go further north with my starting placements. Okay, so let's assume that you're going to be at the front, which means that you're going to end here. So I'm going to be going from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on top of that, it's actually not quite finished, because then it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I need 15 you from here. Do I have 15? And it was what, 6, 2, 4, 6, yeah. So 15 over, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we're starting diagonally 3 from that vision token.
This is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, timing was right. So now just do that, but I guess we do need to have a 180
this is
degree.
1 south, 1 east of level 12.5. The disarm token was not necessary here. Moreover, I installed a briar type, but it is a lenient one. In fact, the room can be completed in under 50 moves.
So under 50 moves. I put them in the wrong spot. I did it 2 instead of 3, that's why. I started counting from 0 instead of from 1. Common programming mistake. Alright, under 50 moves. First place tie even. Okay, not a bad start. I do not remember this room. There's also not a... Oh, there's a hint guy. Okay. I do not remember this at all. What is going on here? Okay, I can go in. This might just be an original room. What is going on? So I can walk around. I don't have to step on the pressure plate. But when I do, I start the pressure plate and then you start going. And then I need to drop all 3 of these. Okay, but this doesn't... I was kind of expecting this pressure plate to open these doors, but since it doesn't, isn't this...
I enjoyed the idea of level 4 twice south, twice west a lot, so I decided to make it bigger. Enjoy zooming across the room.
Right. I think... Is there a reason this is a problem? I don't see one. I really feel like I'm breaking this. But this was tested, so... Is there any reason why I don't just... Okay, there was scripting in this room. That was funny. In the previous episode, I talked about good scripting. This is not good scripting. However, can I not just... do this? Yeah, okay. Cannot knock hint guy into the bit. Okay, so I'm assuming that I wasn't supposed to preemptively cut this. I was supposed to step on the pressure plate before I started making these cuts. This was tested by like 4 or 5 people, right? Nobody caught that. Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I'm actually kind of curious now. If I go F6... people can go quite a bit faster. I guess I'll go with second place.
I enjoyed the idea of level 4 twice south, twice west a lot, so I decided to make it bigger. Enjoy zooming across the room.
Interesting delayed horns there. Okay, huh. I guess the room was just really easy. So maybe breaking the room just didn't occur to people because if you just played the room as intended. Also, yeah, okay, I could have right-clicked on these. I assumed these were soldier horns. So the other thing I was going to attempt at this room was I was going to blow this horn, because I needed to step on this horn in order to get access to this specific blob. So my plan, one of my other plans was to blow this so that a soldier would appear on this boundary, and then that soldier would attract the tar baby when I'm cutting stuff over here, so that the tar baby wouldn't step onto this arrow. Which, I guess with vertical preference, was never an issue anyway. Like this arrow trap. Yeah, I don't know. That room was undercooked in several ways, I feel. Unfortunate that that happens. And I guess that was the custom horn sound put in, which is why there was that weird delay in the playback, because he was still talking, and so these were probably speech commands, which is just an engine limitation. I can't really blame the architect for that. Anyway, I'm just stalling because I remember this room. I remember this room. Oh boy. I might actually just not do this. Well, what does this guy have to say?
I found this room too lenient on trapdoor dropping, so I made a version that tightens this aspect. Much like the original, this room is very tough and marked unrequired, so make sure you really know what the plan is before diving in. And because we all want more smiting and less walking, I'm making the pickaxe and the caber available to you at all times.
Great. Now where do I put all of these?
Press special command to cycle between the three weapons. That's what this is. Okay, you must be standing on a floor tile type, so you cannot swap on the trapdoors or hiding in shallow water. Okay, fair enough. Right, so I mean I could talk about this room. I could try to solve this room. Also... Okay, so this entire thing just doesn't exist anymore, because this was... Yeah, this was an airlock, so you could switch weapons, and then you could go over here and switch weapons again. But you were never able to actually take this as a traversal path. And so I guess since we have the scripted version here, we're just going to completely cut this off. So this isn't even an option. So, I mean, I kind of remember how this room works and what the solution of it is, but I also don't know if this is going to take me, if it's a more... Like, it's been probably several years since I played this. I don't know, how old is Treacle Stew at this point? So in the interest of not just spending a half hour or more on that room and then being done, let's go look at something else. Because there's a very real chance that if I start working on that, that's the only thing I will do for the rest of the video. Okay. Challenge scroll. Use only 8 decoys. Okay, we have... I was going to say we have 8, but then I immediately saw those. Okay, so there are 11. If a monster is in range of multiple decoys, it will move to the one that's closest to it. This is true. If 2 decoys are equally far, it will choose the one that was placed latest, which is to say...
This study extends ideas from level 4.
The one with the slowest move order, I believe.
Why south, once east.
I was only half listening. Level 4. Okay. I just want to confirm something. Yeah, the one I place after has later turn order. And monsters break tiebreakers sometimes, in some cases, for some elements, based off of turn order. So they'll target the thing that has the lower turn order. That might just be a thing that they do in general. Because Beethrow is like number 0, he moves first, always. So if a monster... Well, I guess a decoy is a bad op... Well, not necessarily. If... No, it doesn't work, because if you see Beethrow and a decoy, you don't care about the decoy. So that's a different situation. But for example, if you had a soldier or something, a soldier is going to move after Beethrow. So if you had both Beethrow and a soldier... Like, say there's a roach here, and you had Beethrow and a soldier here, and neither of them could smite it with their sword in one turn, and you just waited, and then the roach would target the soldier first. I'm pretty sure. Assuming they're the same distance. Anyway, we have a tar gate here. Tar stuff gate. I remember this kind of mechanism. Right, so level 4 was the level that has all covered in pits. Right, and then we've just gotten rid of the pits and put floor instead for some reason. I guess that works. So, what does this do?
This study extends idea.
I can destroy that. What I'm curious about is if this is me failing the challenge, because depending on how this was scripted, I'm just not going to touch these. So, I mean, I guess I could have done the same thing by just doing that. And then using my sword to stab these. Does it matter? So what's actually going to go on here? Instead of trying to parse that part, let's actually look at the rest of this. So what's going to happen is I am going to disarm. I get tar. For a turn. Or for however long. Okay, right. I was looking at this. It's like this can't be cut, but no, once it's tar. Alright, for tar, it is going to be one turn, because if it's 2 turns, you get stuck on the arrow. Right, that's how this mechanism worked. So you step here for 1 turn, you move down, you spawn, tar spreads. Then you step here, turn the grown gel back into tar, or the tar back, the grown tar back into gel. That resets your movement type to sticking on the wall so you don't get trapped. We go up here, kill you, blow up the mother, and then, before all that, we rearm. And the act of rearming needs to make it so that the 8 or 11 decoys that we have placed are capable of fully clearing all of this. And then we have a pickaxe here so that we can push the decoys around, I guess. And we also have 2 mirrors for blocking growth without necessarily doing stabs. And also we're stabbing while it's gel, not while it's tar. Okay. So this one, I don't remember if this is a thing or not, but I feel like the thing is, if you want this to be cut, every 2x2 section has to have a sword in it. The only way we can do this... Well, okay, I guess there's 2 ways we can do it. This will work, but I think we need 4 for this. There was a way to do this with 3, wasn't there? It's been a while since I remember this. My brain is not remembering the solution, but I do remember this being kind of a trick, because this looks like 4. 4 works so nicely. In fact, let's prove that 4 works nicely. Prove this concept as well. Yeah. See, you broke it up. And I'm probably going to be doing a lot of testing like this for this one. So alternatively, we could have done 1, 2, 3, 4 on the edges, all diagonally, doing a rotational solution that way. It would have been the same thing. But what happens if I put... Like, I could try to visualize this, but let's do less visualization and more showing for everything else. Okay, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We'll just fail. It's fine. So the problem with this kind of an approach is that using 3, I have this... Right. In order... what did I say? You need every 2x2 needs to be covered. So that was the wrong spot. There. Every 2x2 block. Theoretically, I could actually do this with 2. But let's just compare this. So that's what it looks like with 1 here. We get so if you were down here, this would have been broken. You could have been over here, this would still be broken. So I think either case, it's going to require 4 cuts. Because I could theoretically do it with 2, but then I'm going to have growth that isn't working. Like if you were just over here, for example, cutting this way, then we'd have a little 3x2 and a 3x2. And we could block that with 2 mirrors. So you know what? Let's
This study
sure, let's just do that. This should work, right? No. Okay. So I've convinced myself that this is 4 swords.
This study
So something like that. Yeah, that works. Okay. So we have 4 more for this, this, and this. We do get 2 mirrors, though. So for this one, how do I block... Well, okay, let's start with this one, because this should be the simplest. I should be able to do it with... the problem is it's going to grow a lot. Like, this is going to require... Right, okay, right, I remember the other part of this now. The other part of this is that we use this blob to have gel babies blocking growth. So if we had 4, 8, you could maybe do something with this. So for this one, I guess what we want do something like that. So it's going to grow down here, and then it'll be cut. If it grows here, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But we can't have it grow here or here. So we're going to need a baby here and a baby here. They will both be attracted to this decoy, and that will solve the problem. Okay, so this has been dealt with in 1. Dealing with this one in 2. This one in 1 is kind of the same as this, honestly. So we're going to do this. So it'll grow down here. So in order to stop this, we would need... well, this is a good spot for a mirror, I think, because that's going to be kind of a pain to get done right. So we have a mirror here, and then we have to prevent this, we're going to need 1 baby here, 1 baby here, 1 baby here. So we actually need 3 babies to clear this. Whereas for this one, I have 2 more. If I'm doing the challenge, I can always just grab more later. I guess the idea is I'm not using gel babies if I'm using the extra 3 decoys. I'm trying to see how I would do this, because I need to... Every 2x2 needs to have a sword in it, which means that I must have a sword in the middle. So is this a symmetrical solution or an asymmetrical solution? I think asymmetry is probably going to be better to work with, honestly. But if I do something like that... So you're going to grow here, but then we need to block this. This is the problem. Whereas here, you are not going to grow because the token itself blocks growth. Let's take advantage of that. So if I do that, this is not going to grow. It will grow down here, but I just need a single gel baby here and that's fine. One. I need a gel baby here as well, although that could be a decoy. If it is a decoy, then that's actually 2 gel babies here, which is probably fine. And then trying to see how I want to do this. So you're going to grow here, which is bad. To prevent that, we need 2 gel babies. By the way, I only have 5, I'm pretty sure. I can do... because if I do this... No, that's not true. I can have 7, because I can do that to escape, and I can have both mirrors placed here temporarily. So I do actually get 7 gel babies, assuming I can keep them all alive. And can I even use... I can preemptively grab this? Yes. I don't even need the... I don't even need the mirrors, actually, for that. Okay. So I have 7 gel babies. How many did I need? I needed, for you, I needed 1, 2, no, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a little bit, I don't actually need that one. It's 1 and 2. Okay. Those actually shouldn't be too hard to set up. So 1 and 2 is fine. Right. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind is that the babies will move a turn as tar before tar growth happens. So it's actually 1 and 2. But that's fine. As gel, you're stuck there. Oh no, I do need another one down here because I don't want this to grow. So I guess it's 1 here, actually. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, for this one, 1, 2, 3. This is fine. So that leaves me... And I can use this mirror to help out with something as well. But if I have 3 gel babies here, 3 gel babies here, that leaves 1 gel baby and a mirror and a decoy to solve this problem. So with the mirror, if I put... If I put the mirror up here, it stops this growth. So I'm kind of, at the moment, thinking something like this. The thing is, if I have you here... The problem is that because of the way this mechanism is done up, you're having to think about so many other things. I also feel like this isn't going to be very interesting to watch this because it's just a lot of thinking and visualizing things in my head, which it's hard to vocalize and also really slow to vocalize. So like I have done this before. If you want to see me solving this kind of thing, I guess you can check out my Treacle Stew Let's Play. But for the sake of showing a few more things within the hour, let's just skip this for now.
You made quite the mess in level 3, 1 south, thrice east with the Briar. This time, the Briar must not reach me, and I also demand you keep a piece of gel blob intact.
Okay. So what's going on here? This was, we opened this. The Briar... Okay, so there's no reason not to do pickaxe. The Briar grows, and then as the Briar grows, what we need is 24, 29 gel babies in here. Because then we convert it to tar. We run down here. Right. And so we run down here, kill you, hit this. The turn we hit this, everything moves. And we need this to be held down for one more turn, which might mean another 6, but with turn order, it's possible that if this is faster than these 3, Alright, I guess the other thing we can do here is we can count. Counting's a skill that we have. How many gel babies do we actually have access to here? So 9, 18, 27 minus 3, because we need the briar to make a cut on each of these. So this is 24. And for this one, I guess it makes the most sense to cut a corner. Possibly 2. Oh no, what am I doing with my counting? It's not 8 per, it's 7 per, because I'm also cutting into it myself. So this is 21. Which means that we have 8. We need to get 8 out of this. Well, if we're getting 7 out of a 3x3, we can definitely get 8 out of a 4x4. That's an extra 7. I feel like this is one of those rooms you just kind of jump into and start doing things. Okay. Does this toggle? No. Couldn't be that. Couldn't be that easy. Okay, wrong parity. Wait a turn. There we go. Okay. Wrong parity again. Okay, we managed to save all of them. There we go, they're all in the trap. I have quite a bit of time actually, but let's not... There we go, that's probably good. Okay, there's the one. Let's just finish cleaning this up while we're here. No. Okay, we've managed to rescue the 7. And while we're waiting for them to get over to us, let's just do that. In fact, let's just get those packed in as much as we can. Okay, made it in time. Don't need that anymore. Okay, we've rescued this 7. Am I going to get myself into trouble with what I've just done? Yes, let's not do that. Instead, we will do that. And we can push it manually as well. That's fine. Alright, and I'm not too worried about this briar getting out of hand because I'm planning on just taking out the root myself. But we might as well, while we're just waiting. No, we want to do that, I think. Because I think that pattern gives us some decent cutting. Okay. Let's just see if this is enough. In fact, it's going to have to be because I was told I have to keep a blob, right? So this has to be enough. Okay. There we go. No more briar growth. So I did not try super hard with the turn order, but I could have done better. 27, 9, 17, 30. Is this gonna work? No. So right. In order to get this to work, we needed... These are all going to be the latest ones. I'm going to have to undo a little bit. Yeah, you've been there for a while, which is a bit awkward, because I need something that's from before you. How long have you been there? Okay, but you're still... I think from here it's fine, because I can move you down. And then I just have to make sure... There we go. We're probably gonna just push you guys in manually, so you are... Well, you're all gonna move before this. Okay. That's fine, I can just do this. Like so, that's okay. Are you the... Why did I assume you were going to be the last? You are... I think that's okay too, actually. That is not okay. I don't really like messing around with turn order like this, but it's a solution that's come to my mind. So, okay, this is going to be incredibly awkward. Well, at this point we don't need the Briar anymore, so let's actually just deal with that. And get rid of this time pressure. Alright, so now what I want is I want 24 is the earliest one. Everything will be after. So 24 goes here, and I need all the other tiles to be filled in. So let's just get 24 down at the bottom, like that. I can get one of you out at a time. There we go. All right, and yes, that's actually fine. I was going to go all the way around, but I don't need to, because now I just do that. That works too. Okay, so we have 24, 28, 29, 31. Also, I have a speed potion, so I didn't need to do any of that. But, proof of concept, so yeah, I can step off in a turn. I just had the wrong parity, but proof of concept, even if I didn't have a speed potion at this point, with turn order I managed to keep that on there for another turn. Speed potion combat can be a little bit awkward. And I have my choice of exit. Okay. Well, that is a sense, I guess, a taste of what this is about. So yeah, pretty high level. I mean, high difficulty. Gel was always a fairly complicated element just in terms of like cutting parity, and Treacle Stew was fairly difficult as well. And then I think this is just harder versions or rooms that were inspired by Treacle Stew, so yeah, this should be pretty hard. I mean, the first room wasn't even a puzzle. So what, I solved, in an hour I solved 3 rooms, one of which I broke and solved basically trivially. Yeah. I mean, I did spend quite a bit of time on this room as well. Yeah, so that was Secret Mischievous Sanctum, that's not it. That's what this level's called. Strategist's Misunderstood Subselection by Lova P48. Alright, I will see you next time for another hold.